Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and we are back with our super accomplished guest, CNBC millennial millionaire, 29-year-old who quits a six-figure job, makes 100 grand a month, million for net, possibly a future TV star, Todd Baldwin. How you doing, sir?
Oh my gosh, the introductions get better and better. Like my head is not gonna be able to fit through the door when I leave this
Just
recording.
turn sideways. You'll be good.
Thank you for the introduction.
You got it, man. So, hey, what I wanted to do in this episode is, I want to give your boy a shout out, Garrett, who did something amazing for us, which we will pull up in a minute. But I just want you to coach, God, how would we think about this, right? So my community, lots of full-time employees, probably have a family looking to have a better future. Your niche probably is people in their 20s, single, maybe married, no kids yet, right? Let's try to motivate all of them. And I don't know if that's going to be possible, but let's give a shot. For example, one thing I would tell all of them is a better financial future is possible. And frankly, a better financial future is easy if you just follow a couple of things. And we did that in the first episode. So I want everybody to know that it's absolutely possible. Too many people give up. And if you're in the United States and you're watching this, likely other countries as well, but this is the only country I know. You have amazing opportunities here. Even though you may not think it, you may have had a rough start, you may have made horrible decisions. You can decide to be better tomorrow. That's where I want to start. What do you got?
Absolutely. I think, life isn't fair. And some people have it worse off than others.
Absolutely.
And, I won't go into it too much here, but I grew up in a house where my father punched my mother in the face.
Yeah.
And he was a child molester. So anyone
right.
watching this can connect the dots on that about how my life was like. Now, she got away from him and she got away from that bad situation. But then I was raised by a single mother with really no money. And we got evicted and all the things. And I became a multimillionaire in my 20s. So I don't want to dismiss anyone's hardship or background or what you went through, but I do want to say it is possible if you choose it. And it's rough and it's hard and it's sad and all the things.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. That statement, that story was how I sat down a year ago and I'm like, that first book, One Rental Ad, is great, but it's my story. It probably speaks to, that part of the world, right? Full-time employees, family. I mean, my story is only my story, but I wanted to write a book that anybody could hold on to. That's why there's 15 unique stories in here. People, 5 kids, single mom, high school dropouts, people who lost everything. It's just different stories. And again, if you decide, you can go. But I got to tell you, the first 3 or 4 years, hard work. It's a drip. Right? It's not enough water to quench your thirst. But after 3 or 4 years, it's like it's not a drip, it's a trickle. It's like, oh, okay, if I hold my cup here long enough, I can get a sip of water. And then I wrote this because the first 4 years are so hard. I wanted everybody to read this, find their 2 or 3 stories that speak to them and like, all right, I'm going to read that story every day for a year. That's what I tried to do. Because the first 4 years, man, we got to get people to realize that once you get through the first 3 or 4, life gets better.
Absolutely. No, you got to hustle. If it is motivating to anyone to hear this, in 2014, I was making 30 grand a year. In 2021, I'm making 30 grand a week. It's possible.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. In 2014, I was making $30,000 a year. In 2021, this year, I make $30,000 per week.
That is, you just gotta let that.
Amen.
You gotta let that sit there for a while and just like, did I hear that right? Let me rewind that.
The microphone, I'd drop the mic.
Yeah, again, it's all out there, right? And again, what was that? That was 7 years, right? 14 to 21. It's not one big jump. It's not easy. There were lots of bad days, sacrifice, but again, it goes from a drip to a trickle to. And again, if you stay at this, it could be 30 grand a day, right? If you stay at it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There are people that make a lot more than that.
Yeah. There are probably people. What does Bezos make? He's making like 30 grand a second or millisecond. Anyways.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. But again, it's out there, right? You can do it. Um, the other thing I think I would tell people is um, spend less time trying to tear people down and go build your own, right? Gary Vee, I think, has a story about, if you want to have the largest building, you can either build the biggest one or you could go tear others down. I think there's a lot of people today that are interested in tearing things down. I just heard this morning on my daily financial news that there's some joker on YouTube that calls me the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, really? You're going to waste time calling me names like that? I mean, that's just bad.
You know, I had a comment recently on, I don't remember if it was one of my videos or a video that I was in, like one of the CNBC ones, but I saw a comment and it was talking about how I'm evil and greedy.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Right. Well, there's another one too. So this one's like, yeah, you're evil and greedy, all the things. And it came out, it went further to say, you know, I have all this money and I choose to not have any kids so I can keep all the money for myself and blah, 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 all these things.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that one.
So yeah, it basically was saying like, yeah, you know, you and your wife just want all your money for yourself. That's why you have no children and you just want to like do all these things. What they don't know is my wife and we had a miscarriage this year.
Oh.
And I held my wife's hand in the hospital while she had to go through this miscarriage and lose our baby that we set up a nursery, we bought the toys, like, you know, all the things, right? I have little baby clothes that are unused because we lost our baby. And there's this weird thing today where it's like, if you've had financial success, people think you're a bad person. And it's like, I'm just a regular guy. Like, I have pain, I have joy, I have all these things that you have. I focused in on my goals and I made this a priority. And my wife and I, like, we would love to have kids today and we will have kids someday. But like his whole thing is like, oh, you're rich and you have no kids. It's probably because you want to buy Rolls Royces instead of childcare, you know, whatever. And it's like, you don't know me, dude. Like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know my story. And the hate online is so real. And by the way, it does you no good to hate on somebody else's accomplishments because you don't know them and it's unproductive. Like, it just doesn't do any good.
Yeah. I don't know what you do with stuff like that, but I've heard it. Again, I was never on social media. The only social media presence I had while I worked was a LinkedIn page because that's what you had to do. I didn't have YouTube, Facebook, IG, any of that stuff. And so until I tried to help people, that's why I have them, is to help people. And for a while there, when I got the hate and stuff like Evo landlords and you're a cancer and all that, it would eat me alive. Now I just hit the little button called delete and it's gone. So I don't even let that stuff stay on my page. I get rid of it. It's out of my world. How do you handle stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I just ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah,
you delete it or do you ignore it? Because that's different.
Usually I just ignore it.
Okay.
You know, because I did actually make 2 videos one time where I read mean comments.
Oh, okay.
And I just sort of had fun with it. This one stung a little bit more because he sort of attacked a painful part
yes.
that was our reality this year. And I that one I will delete because I don't want my wife to see it. Like, it'll really break her heart if she sees something like that. But yeah, for the most part, I just ignore it. I mean, if you have time in your day to go shit on somebody, by definition, you're a loser.
Okay.
Because,
I like it.
you know, like, put it this way, Michael Jordan isn't leaving mean comments on people.
Yeah. Good point.
It's awesome to be doing that, right? Like, and I'm too busy. I'm off traveling and making money and doing things that I love to have the time of day to consume someone's content and then leave a nasty message about it. So I'm not worried about what those stupid people online think about me.
There you go. Well, I need to let it go. I just feel better deleting it. I just feel like I'm removing a little bit of hate from the world when I hit delete.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very cool. So any other advice for people that are just getting started that need to believe it's possible? Sometimes people just need to believe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first part of it. You know, this is going to sound cliche, but frankly, I was rich in my mind well before I was rich in my wallet. You know, when I was 15 years old, I envisioned myself being 30 and getting a check for $1 million. Like, I literally had that vision.
Wow.
And I think you got to do it. I think there's been some buzz about Drake lately, the rap star Drake, who lives in a 50,000 square foot mansion.
Wow.
And what a lot of people don't know is a picture of that 50,000 square foot mansion was his screensaver on his computer for years before he bought it. And it was like
Oh,
his vision board of like, this is the house. I want to live in this house someday. And the dude just bought the house. So yeah,
respect.
self-belief is really important. I think also, and this might be a topic for a whole other video, but this may hurt some people to hear this. The understanding that you're not paid for your time, you're paid based on the value you bring to the marketplace. And so a lot of people are like, I deserve $30 an hour. And it's like, well, what you have to understand is that you're going to make what the market is willing to pay for you. And I give the example of there was a time in my life where I made 12 bucks an hour. Okay. Recently, I did a wholesale deal. In 4 hours, I made 50 grand. My hourly rate for that deal was like 12,500 an hour, something like that. I wasn't working 1,000 times harder than when I was making $12 an hour. I certainly wasn't working more hours.
Right.
I just did something that the market values, and I was able to make that money. So it's it's the same reason why Floyd Mayweather can make $100 million in 12 minutes for beating up Logan Paul, because people want to pay to see that, right?
Yeah.
So understand that you're not paid for your time. You're not even necessarily paid for how hard you work. You're paid based on the value you bring to other people.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we will leave it there because, again, there's lots we could go on that. We will make that another topic for another day. Todd, how can people find you?
Yes, on Instagram, you can find me at Todd J. Baldwin, or on YouTube, just type in my name, Todd Baldwin, and you will find me.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time this morning.
All right.